I think a highlight of the Patuxent is that people, because it's got a little diversity in its terrain, has a little of everything you would find that would be excellent about the entire Chesapeake Bay region. It has lowlands and highlands, it has wetlands and other types of lands, it has deep water and wide water, and shallow and other types of terrain. So you can get a little bit of anything you want in the Chesapeake Bay region all in one tributary. You know, the obvious ones that affect almost every tributary in the bay. We have them probably, just like we have all the good things that we find also in the Chesapeake, we also have all those bad things too. We have 36 wastewater treatment plants. Many of them are governmentally run and are not compliant with their own permits. We have bad land use of all kinds across the board. Poor stormwater facilities. We have federal facilities that are leaching everything from rocket fuel to goodness knows what into the Patuxent River. We have an urbanizing north to the river that is overwhelming the downstream folks on the Patuxent with runoff, impervious surfaces, changes in the flow of the river in general because of its changing character in the north. It's a little of everything. A death by 1,000 cuts is what people frequently say.
The Sojourn was started in 2000, so this is the 9th year they've done it. And it was started as a way to get people out onto the Patuxent River, to get them to know the river and to be connected to it. We figured if we could connect people to the river on a personal basis, that they would then take some stake in it and want to help protect it. So we try and get as many people out as we can every year. We range between 65 and 80 depending on sign up for that year. But we do all different types of stuff while we're out. We do creek paddles, we do night paddles. Last night we had an owl prowl, which was amazing. We did restoration projects the other day where we actually planted some wild rice and removed some invasive species. So we really try and give people the full picture of what's going on in this river and really make them understand. And then we also bring in folks like from EcoCheck to give some short discussion speeches about the health of the river, what it used to be like. We had an archaeology talk the other day about what the life would have been like in the 1800s and the 1700s and even before that. I think some of the highlights, the kids were great. We have a group of students that come in from Baltimore through the Sierra Inner City Outings program, and they were just great kids, and they jumped in, and I think that seeing them come out and kayaking for like probably the second time in their life, because they did come out once earlier, to see them have that experience was really cool for me. Depending on how you look at it, the Fridayness was a little bit of a highlight. I guess the people who got rescued by the Zodiacs, I think that was a highlight for them. They'll never forget it, at least.
Patuxent is unique in a number of ways. For one, the Patuxent is credited with having made a substantial comeback. It's been cleaned up or restored substantially in the past. So on one hand, from a resilience standpoint, it shows that you can clean these rivers up, that it can be done, that these are not futile dollars that we spend in terms of trying to enforce and restore and bring the river back. The other thing is that out of the litigation, and frankly, it's litigation that has worked typically on the Patuxent. The litigation of the 70s and early 80s resulted in a statewide commission, a Patuxent River Commission. So my point being that there's a substantial body of people and a movement that is intact on the Patuxent that has been doggedly committed to trying to heal its ills for close to 40 years. So in that sense, it's also a microcosm because it embodies a lot of the spirit of trying to restore these waterways in a particular way. It's a guidepost for a lot of the other tributaries. So there's some geopolitics that are also important about the Patuxent as a result.